You are listening to the We Are West Ham podcast with me, Will Pugh, and I'm back as always with the opposition view in the build-up to Saturday night's game home against the Arsenal. And I am joined by a man who you do not normally keep waiting, but it's exactly what I've done tonight. And I'm hugely appreciative to CJ Needham, or you probably know him as the Deluded Gooner, big Arsenal fan, huge YouTuber, and all-round good bloke. CJ, it's absolutely great to see you again, mate. It's always good to chat. We spend most of our time giving each other shit on social media about our respective clubs. You got one of those sort of annoying auras about Arsenal fans when you're actually quite sensible. And like when you, do you know what I mean? You actually say stuff about your team and you're not you don't get caught up in the bandwagon too much. I saw you on TalkSport the other day, just sort of spitting a few like straightforward, sensible facts, not getting carried away with the hype, and you're not scared to say when you don't think your team's quite there, but you're also always there to back the Gooners to the hilt as well.
You're far too kind, man. There's nothing more I can add to that. I appreciate that. And yeah, man, we do give each other a lot of nonsense on Instagram, but yeah, man, I try to be honest, man. What's the point of living in delusion, to coin the phrase, man? One love for having me on the channel.
All good, mate. All good. Talk to me then about Arsenal this season. As I say, you're a little bit more difficult to bait than some of your fellow Gooners. I've sort of always felt, and I've said to you sort of outright, to be fair, and less so a reflection on Arsenal, but the last two seasons, there was lots of excitement in the sort of mainstream media, across YouTube, a lot of Arsenal fans as well, about your team's title chances. And I just always felt that City just always had that little bit more, perhaps a little bit of squad depth was missing. We chatted about this. This season, I sort of felt even more certain from an Arsenal perspective they weren't going to be anywhere near. Didn't expect what's happened to City, but how are you feeling at the moment about Arsenal, and what's the feeling among fans?
Oh, a feeling among fans is it feels a bit like a missed opportunity. Wow, I guess on paper you can't panic in November. Mathematically, everything can happen. But kind of what you alluded to there, when Manchester City kind of fall off or have a wobble or kind of in an unforeseen situation like now, we want to be the ones to pounce. It's not us, it's Liverpool. And simply put, we need to start winning games and pray Liverpool and City continue to do what they're doing. So it's been a bit of a mixed bag. Obviously, the results haven't gone our way prior to the last two games. I would say more than that. People weren't necessarily happy with how Mikel Arteta's tactics were working. But in the last two games, we've played some very good football. We scored a lot of goals. And naturally, football fans, and especially Arsenal fans, can be quite fickle after, effing and blinding two good results. And everything's happy as Larry again, man. So, yeah, it's just about going on a run now, Will, man.
Well, look, I mean, you're only a point behind City, same points as Chelsea. You're in fourth, but that's it's more of a goal difference thing rather than too much of a points concern. How do you see it going? Because I can't personally see Liverpool quite sticking with it, but can you see your boys doing enough to run whoever wins the title close, or perhaps even see yourselves doing it?
Honestly, I think it's Liverpool's to lose, man. I do think naturally Liverpool will drop points, but when you keep winning games, you give yourself a certain cushion. I mean, I keep saying it, and the more City keep dropping points, you kind of don't want to believe it, but I still have in the back of my mind at the end of the day, it's Manchester City, it's Pep Guardiola. They will go on this unstoppable run at some point. So it's more hope than tangible evidence with us. But if we do what we did last season, if the Arsenal returns of last season that missed out by 2 points, then anything's possible. But at this moment in time, bro, we're third in a 3-horse race. It's as simple as that, Will, man. I'd love to say something different, but it's reality.
Talk to me about the team then this season, mate. Like, what are you seeing on the pitch? Is it better, worse? Have you got areas of concern? Are you more pleased than last season? How does it look in comparison? What's sort of your overall feel about your team and the squad and Arteta's tactics and all of it? What you're seeing on the pitch?
I think there's been, if I'm honest, a tiny bit of regression. I think we've fallen off a cliff with our own defensive standards. I feel we haven't quite been at the buffers in an attacking sense. We've really just relied on Saka and Odegaard to just get us through games. And as I said, the last two games against Sporting and Nottingham Forest have been different, but I don't feel we've done what we've needed to do at both ends of the pitches. Then you throw in Mikel Arteta. I do think he's overcomplicated things and he's tried a lot of experiments. He's playing Declan Rice as an 8 and then a 6. He's got Partey right back and then in central midfield. Mikel Moreno's kind of come in. So I think there's been issues anyways, but he's kind of overcomplicated it more. And we have looked a bit stale and predictable and just living and dying by crosses, really and truly, which I don't feel is a sustainable way for us to play football and win games.
Yeah. What do you What's the fix? Like, if you're in Arteta's shoes at the moment, what's the main area of concern? What's the thing that you need to sort out a bit lively? Is it a tactical thing? Do you need reinforcements in Jan, or where do you go to sort it?
I think
Or to not sort it, but find that extra little fizz that you had the last couple of years.
I think from now till January, I think you've got to do what you've done in the last 2 games, which for me is to simply take the handbrake off. Like, I'm not being funny. I do think Arsenal would need reinforcements in the final third, but you've got Saka, you've got Odegaard, you've got Jesus, you've got Trossard. These are not bad players. These are very good players that some teams would love to have. Just take the handbrake off and allow them a bit of freedom in the final third, which we've done in the last 2 games. So continue that. You mentioned January. I would love to see a striker come in. I'd love another versatile attacker to come in because, again, if Saka's not on it, we're kind of in trouble. Havertz is not a bad player, but he's service reliant. You don't really know what you're going to get from Martinelli and Trossard, if I'm honest. So just keep doing what you're doing, if I'm honest with you, in the last 2 games, Arteta. Just release the handbrake and let these players play, essentially, because you see what Saka and these guys can do, man.
Talk to me about our boy Declan Rice then. You mentioned the experimentation, and for the life of me, I don't really understand what all of the chat about Declan Rice and his position is, right? I've always said that he's a world level holding midfield player, right? He's got some abilities to go through. Part of it, Declan Rice is, or from I'm talking when I saw it at West Ham, he's got a bit of a Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard complex going on in his head where he thinks he wants to be at the other end affecting stuff. Graham Souness, you listen to him on TalkSport, would have him playing at centre-back still. Absolute madness. I always thought Declan Rice play him at holding midfield and let someone else do whatever around him. What's happening with him at Arsenal? Obviously, you have a lot more of the ball, so feel like he can get away with going forward a little bit more. But how do you see it all? What are you seeing this amount of time?
You said it there, Will. Like, naturally at Arsenal, you're going to have to get forward a bit more. I feel Mikel Arteta plays him as an 8 because of his engine, because Arteta wants to win the ball as high up the field as possible. But as you said there, I'm not being funny. He was West Ham's captain when you won that European trophy. He's made X amount of appearances for West Ham, England, and in the Premier League. Being that ball-winning midfielder, that number 6, that tenacious player. So I don't understand why we've signed him and we're trying to make him an 8. It's like you're getting a tool and then using him differently. It doesn't make sense. And I don't think there's any coincidence this season when he's played back in the 6, like against Liverpool, head and shoulders man of the match. So for me, you should be playing as a 6, if I'm completely honest. I wish I could speak to Arteta, but for me, Declan Rice is a 6. Give the ball to the players that have a bit more technical ability and keep it moving. But I don't know, man. I don't buy into the Declan Rice 8 stuff. I hate it, if I'm honest with you. I really hate it. It's not him.
No. Well, that's it. Do you think part of it's him wanting to do it, or is it just Arteta, or a bit of both?
I think a bit of both, man. I think Declan Rice strikes me as someone that will give everything a go, won't give a manager any issues. He might have his own thoughts. Like, whenever you hear him talk about midfield, he says, I'll give it a go. I want to learn how to play in midfield, but the 6 is my home, essentially. So I think Declan Rice's attitude goes against him. But it's Arteta, man. It's Arteta with the galaxy brain overcomplicating things, if I'm honest.
You think?
Yeah, man, 100%.
What's he doing then? Like, Arteta, when you say that, what's he doing that's like, when you're saying keep it simple, what's he trying? Just tweaks? I
really don't know what he's doing with Declan Rice, because on our left-hand side, like, you look at our right, we've got historically Benjamin White, who's injured now. We've got Timber, we've got Saka, Odegaard goes over there, Havertz goes over there. We're very right-hand centric. The left-hand side doesn't really bring much. We've had consistent injuries at left-back. The left 8 role has been played with Declan Rice, but again, his strengths are not in the final third. So you've got Declan Rice surging in behind. You've got Martinelli out of sorts. You've got inconsistent left back. So there's not really any synergy or consistency on the left-hand side. And I don't think that helps us, if I'm honest. I can't see what Declan Rice's strengths are in the final third. I know we can say...
Yeah, I'm so with you, mate. Honestly.
I don't know it, Will. I mean, on paper, he's had his highest goal scoring season as a player at Arsenal. He takes our set pieces. And I don't dislike the fact that he gallops forward to try to win the ball back, but on the ball, what a traditional 8 should be doing. I just don't think that's Declan Rice. I'm not even dissing him. I don't have the answers, man. I just think Arteta sees something in him, which I can't tell you is.
I'm so with you. It's like I don't know, trying to ride a motorbike like in a Formula 1 race. It's just like exactly what you said. You're good at loads of stuff. Like, you don't worry about all that. Like, if you're Arteta, and I felt a little bit similar at West Ham, but it's obviously even more so Arsenal. If you're Arteta, you've got Declan Rice, when he wins the ball back, which he's world level at doing, give it to Martin Odegaard, who's world level on the ball. Give it to Bukayo Saka, who's world level on the ball. Yeah, don't give it to a bloke who's like 7 out of 10. He's perfectly fine on the ball, you're Arsenal. You don't want to be perfectly fine, do you? You want to be doing things at world level in each position. But listen, mate, talk to me about the game on the weekend then, because despite the facts don't lie, mate. Arsenal didn't win the Premier League last season because they lost at home to West Ham United FC. So I've told you that time and time again. West Ham stopped you winning the league. All I hear is about it's 5-6-0 at London Stadium. Don't matter, mate. It was net even on points. What are you feeling Saturday night then? That was, to be fair, that was a pinnacle of our season last year. Beating you.
You know what? It's a mixed bag, Will, man. It's a mixed one, because on one hand, I think you're there for the taking. I think your manager, I think he's always 2 games away from the sack. I think there's a lot of heat on him. But that being said, your last few games, it looks like things are turning around. So I'm in a mixed bag. I'm not going to lie to you. I expect to win, because we need to go on a run now. We really need to go on a run. And I just think we're going to win. I just think we're a level above you. I think we're playing you at the right time. I really think we're going to win 2-0. So it's a difficult one. It's an evening fixture. Your fans are going to be up for it. You have still got quality players. Is Kudus playing? Or is he still suspended?
No, I think he's got about a 700 game ban for. To be fair,
Lord.
Fair play though. He whacked a couple of Tottenham players in the face. So
yeah, man. Listen, we need to sign him from you lot. Big him up for that. But you got quality players, man. You've got the Bowens. You've got all of these things, and games like this scare me because it's almost like a free hit for you lot. If you lot lose, it's business as usual. If you beat us, then that could be a confidence boost for Lopetegui. So I think it'll be an interesting game. I think it'll be closer than people give it credit for, but it's almost like I'm looking beyond you lot in a respectful way. We just need to go on a run now. Like prior to us beating Nottingham Forest, I think we didn't win in 4 or 5. We need to chase that deficit. You asked me earlier about Liverpool. It's all fun and games, Liverpool dropping points, but once again, we need to be winning games, and these are the games. It's a London derby. You've got to be up for it, and I'm sure Declan Rice will. We need to win, man. Like, we really need to win. I do think we'll live dangerously and we'll be under the cosh, but it's one where we need to win, man. I actually think we'll score via set pieces against you lot, because you lot don't seem to be good at that. So Lopetegui's going to have to go to training ground, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously beaten the Carabao Cup at home last year, so I actually
I give over, man.
2 wins to 1 last season. 6-0 defeat or whatever it was at home. Listen, mate. To be honest, I don't think there's enough in the Lopetegui era. Like, we've got to win at Newcastle. I've never been as certain in all my life my football team was going to lose a game, and we've somehow won 2-0. Yeah, proper weird, mate. But I just think the reason we beat you at the Emirates last season is because you were given a right Royal Moyes masterclass, weren't you? We had about 4% possession, 2 shots on goal or whatever it was. Exactly. Yeah, but I just don't think we got that anymore. We haven't got that steel and that. We're not hot. We're not difficult to play against anymore. We are so like weak at the back. Oh, mate, it is terrible. I mean, I didn't watch it on Monday because I was at an awards do, but James, by my co-host, by all accounts, said it was decent. But I'm really not seeing it. I mean, I don't know. It's difficult to go as strong with it after you've beaten Newcastle 2-0 away, but everything I've seen before, truly atrocious, and we haven't got that steel that we had under Moyes. So I'm not very confident. I imagine you'll keep that run going. Listen, CJ, I really appreciate you coming on. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Good man. Look, I'll let you run. I'll get you trained. Give us a scoreline. I know you hate doing these, but just tell me what the score's going to be. 2-0, did you say? 2-0. 2-0 Arsenal. 2-0 Arsenal. Can't look beyond us. Arsenal. Speaking into existence, mate. Yeah. Bit of manifestation. That's how you tell your Gen Z, isn't it? Big manifestation.
Technically, I'm not. I'm born in 95. I'm a millennium or millennial.
Oh, yeah. Millennial. Yeah. Borderlands millennial with me. All right, mate.
All right.
Listen, CJ Needham there, Deluded Gooner. Looking ahead to Saturday night's game, West Ham v Arsenal at London Stadium. Sorry, it was a quick one. It's totally my fault, everyone, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. You don't need that long with CJ. He packs the quality in far shorter amounts of time. Follow us on socials. You know where to go. Hope you enjoy the game on Saturday. And me and James and the lads will be back with a reaction show as usual on Monday next week. Thanks for listening. Up the Hammers. Follow us on social, subscribe, get involved in the comments and the DMs. You know the score, and we'll speak to you next week.